Welcome to the Towns Learning Show podcast series, episode 77 with independent learning tech analyst John Lay. Today I interview Kris-Ann Nansen, Senior Principal Product Manager of Oracle University, about building a learning community for customer education. You can find more of our fiercely independent content at townslearning.com. Well, as you know, listeners, on this show, I'm fortunate to interview experts in customer education and extended enterprise from both the vendor and the practitioner perspectives. Today's no different, as we have a customer ed expert and practitioner here today, Kris-Ann Nansen, to share her experiences and wisdom from developing probably the world's largest customer ed learning community in record time, as we'll find out. One of the things I love about customer education is that it's undefined. There's no one way to do it. And what I mean is that it's an evolving industry. Every customer organization takes a different approach, has a different definition of customer education and success, a different set of technology. For some, customer education is driven by L&D or marketing or customer support or customer experience or a dedicated customer education team or product enablement in any combination. As it turns out, adding unique business goals, software solutions, and experience into the equation, into the solution of customer education. Recently, an emerging trend that has been to build these social communities of your customers, partners, internal subject matter experts, and allow your customers to ask questions, get answers, and essentially crowdsource support and your knowledge base from your most engaged users. It's way more than a course-based threaded discussion found in most LMSs, often owned by marketing. User groups focus on the day-to-day use, problem solving, and optimization of any given solution. Bringing together the formal learning content in an LMS with the user group knowledge base is brilliant, and it brings all kinds of business benefits to the organization. Oracle and Kris-Ann's team did exactly that, and we're going to learn all about it today. But first, in case you've been living under a peach basket, founded in 1977, Oracle Corporation is a global powerhouse in the realm of extended enterprise software, cloud computing, CRM, ERP, supply chain management, HCM, and more, and that enable organizations to efficiently store and manage and analyze vast amounts of data. Oracle has tens of thousands of organizational clients in every corner of the world and has millions upon millions of users of the application that need to be trained and engaged. Whoa. Kris-Ann Nansen, welcome to the Towns Learning Show. It's so great to have you here.
Hey, John, it's great to be here.
So tell us about Oracle University. Let's start there.
Thanks for the lead-in on Oracle. There's not much more to say than that. It's an enormous global organization where we are focused on bringing the best technology to our customers. And part of bringing the best technology is making sure our customers are prepared to use that technology. So the organization that I work in is it's in the division of customer success. And I work specifically for Oracle University. And what we focus on is preparing our system integrators, whether they be Oracle consulting employees or third-party employees, to implement the system flawlessly and to make sure that their customers are ready day one or day two to operate and run that system effectively, and then also continuously innovate in that system. As you mentioned, there's several different divisions of Oracle, right? Oracle Health, sports, technology. So Oracle University was really founded on the premise of people moving to the cloud and supporting the movement to the cloud. And it was a small organization, lean and mean. And after the global pandemic, as most companies had to, readjust, you can imagine that from on-premise courses or instructor-led courses, people weren't able to do that anymore. So Oracle University really grew during that time because everyone was coming to, we had all of our training in the cloud, self-paced, right? So we grew exponentially during that time. So as horrible as the pandemic was for the world, we were able to still continue to service our customers and help their business continue to run. So that was a good thing that we were prepared, I guess, to do that. No one saw that coming, right?
They got everybody moving, everybody into the cloud. But your particular, Kris-Ann, expertise or specialty inside of Oracle University is around the is around the learning community. And so I
Mhm.
was wondering if you dig into that. What is a learning community and what does it mean at Oracle? Let's start there.
Yeah, sure. No, I work on an innovation team. So what we're trying to do every day is look at different ways to get people excited about learning and to make sure that they're obviously doing and retaining that learning. So I hate to keep referring back to the global pandemic, but during that time, because people didn't have the opportunity to meet in person with an instructor or have what we call those water cooler moments where they're sharing with their peers different business cases or use cases or issues that they've run into. We were really looking for an opportunity to give people those. They were starving for that information, right? I'm over here in India trying to implement a system, and someone in Romania already faced that problem. So, how do we share that knowledge? And what we did is we thought, well, most of the time people need that information in the time, just in time, right? In the flow of work. So we have an LMS, they get the training there, but we needed an opportunity for them to be able to share. And so we have several communities within Oracle, as many large organizations do, and we had a node that was not being used. And so a few of us came up with this idea, why don't we just build a learning community, a community strictly focused on people learning our systems, our applications, and help them through that process. So that's what we did. We took an empty node, total greenfield project. None of us had really built a community before. So we reached out to several different other people that we thought were experts in the field. And we built a community and they came. I mean, it sounds so simple. It really wasn't. It was a lot of work. We actually launched the community at Oracle Cloud World in October of 2022. Before we launched it, we have a group of partners, system integrators. We call them our Catalyst partners, the top 9 in the world globally. And we asked them, would you be willing to come in be our beta, look at the community, tell us what you think. Is it solving problems? Is it helping you? And they agreed and they came. And we had about 8,000, I think, before we launched that were actively using the community. And we launched it, as I said, during Oracle Cloud World in 2022, which was September of 2022. And we broadcast it everywhere we could during that event in Las Vegas over 3 days. And we gradually saw more and more people acclimating to the community. So I can tell you how we broadcast it there if you want, but we've continuously integrated the community into our other learning products, and we've seen substantial growth throughout
Wow.
in just under 2 years. And I'll share those numbers with you a little bit later.
All right. Cool. Cool. We got a taste of them here a few weeks ago, so I'm anxious to hear
Yeah,
how it's grown. So tell me this: how much? How do you launch a learning community? You need the content in there from the learning community. So
sure.
it's almost like a chicken and an egg. Where does
Yeah,
it start? How much did you build out before you invited your first 8,000 folks in there? Like, how do you
yeah.
get that off the ground?
Yeah, so we had great buy-in from our team. None of this could have been done without everyone within Oracle University. So we have subject matter experts, obviously, on the applications and infrastructure side. They're instructors. We asked them to build some content that was exclusive to the community, put in some discussions, blogs. We created individual discussion forums where people who were interested, whether it be in, as I said, applications, infrastructure, database. We have a new forum that we've just created on AI and machine learning. So we um, questioned or surveyed our partners and said, what are the areas of interest to you? We got that information back, created those forums, and then went to our internal teams and said, hey, can you create some content specific to here? Can you host some live events in our community that are, exclusive in the community? We have a blog that's associated and only found within the community. So we're doing specific announcements in there. We're foreshadowing things to come. We're talking last year for Cloud World. We did a lot of different incentives for Cloud World. We also had a very specific promotion that was going on last June. June starts our fiscal year. So last year we did a race to certification, which was a huge corporate promotion to get certification. And we actually implemented, when you subscribed to the MyLearn, which is our learning management system, you automatically were provisioned an account in the community. So side by side, right? So you can learn here and you can have the very structured, here's your self-paced class, here are some labs you can do hands-on, here's some skills assessment. But over here, there's people talking about those classes or talking about real life situations, or you can, in our learning management system, ask a question of the instructor, but the instructor will answer you in the community. That's where you'll find the answer. And we did that very purposely so that people would be driven to the community and see the value of the community. So I
So
hope that
you drive,
answers the question.
yeah, no, it does. It does. It gives me a bunch more. So your average learner then, is it more about styles that, some like it formal and some like it informal, or do you think that it's learners really need both? So you're giving them both that formal, informal all the time. What's your theory on that?
I think they need both, right? So,
Yeah.
for in the learning management system, obviously very formal, very structured, also leads on path to badges, certifications, and many people really that's what their learning goal is to be certified. What the community does is offer them, kind of like a support system, right? So if they have a specific question about something, they can go and ask their peers. We have several people that have become organic evangelists within our community and are happy to answer questions. And that's what a community is about, right? You want to hear it from the person that's not trying to sell you the product. You want to hear it from someone who's really using the product. So we are happy to say we have a blend of both. We have those Oracle SMEs in there answering questions and talking to people, hosting events, writing blogs. And then we also have their peers that could be anywhere in the world that could answer their questions. So
Wow. And what do the peers or really the customers, what do they get out of participating in that? Why would they want to answer questions? Why invest their time in the community like that? I can see why you want to go there and ask some questions, but how do you incentivize people to want to participate and answer and share their time and share their expertise? Like
yeah,
what's in it for them?
that's a great question. And we everyone sits at a bulletin board and tries to figure that out. Honestly, I think human nature is just that people want to help, right?
Wow.
And so, like I said, organically, some people are just gonna dive right in there, and it's new, it's cool, it's fun. So they just do it.
Mhm.
We do have though in the learning community badges and points and ranks. So we do have the gamification aspect of that as well. We also try to do things for our members, right? So right now we're leading up to Oracle Cloud World 2024, which will be in September. We have some great content in the forums out there about that our members can see. We've done a call for papers there, different things that just give them kind of first access or parallel access that they might not have seen somewhere else. The other thing is they can contribute. The tagline of our community, I think, let me step back for 1 second, is really important because these are the three core values that we really strive to live by. And the tagline is connect, learn, and contribute. So the first thing we always try to, when we welcome our new members, we say, put up a picture, reach out to someone, join and follow a forum, get to know your peers. We're going to do some more around that in the next year, but that's been fairly successful where we've seen relationships grow, and we've gotten feedback from our members telling us that, which is really cool. Obviously, the learn component is all the questions that are asked and instructors answer are visible to anyone. So you really have almost like a database or a repository of information that's being built within the community and is searchable. So if someone else has that question and is not in a course, not in a structured learning path, but maybe just trying to implement something or add a new feature or turn on functionality, they can go into the community and, ask that question. It's not a support community, but really it's just if you're working through something and you need some help, it's really peer driven support and help. So a little bit of a distinction there. And then the last part to your question about what drives people to really contribute is we have the ability, well, they have the ability to contribute ideas. So, and we just launched this about 6 months ago, and we have already received 20 ideas from our members about how to improve or add or change our learning solutions, which are really interesting. And we're starting to work through those now. So they can contribute an idea. They can write a blog. And we're happy to publish that. We've had a few members do that, as long as it's something about our content. And then the final thing that they can do is if they're a certified user of Oracle infrastructure or applications, they have the ability to submit a future certification question, which really is kind of cool, I think, and unique to us. And then finally, the other thing that we've started to do, we have member spotlights, monthly. We call out people, we introduce them to the community, tell people to go out and see their profile. And now just, I think about a month ago, we started featuring some of our highest contributing members on all of our social channels. So we have over 300,000 followers on our Oracle University social channels. And we're amplifying and thanking these members for their contributions. And, that's pretty powerful. They've taken some time out of their day just to answer a question or contribute a blog, whatever it is, continuously. And so we want to recognize that and tell people that we're really proud that they're members of our community.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So the community is a way to, among everything else, identify your advocates. Identify the high users, the
Yeah.
engaged users, and then use that as an opportunity to promote their voices, and
Mm-hmm.
then eventually attract new customers. Because
Yeah.
of that.
We hope
Because of that.
so. And also it helps those people build their personal brands, and
Sure.
they love when a company recognizes their work, right? Whether it be Oracle or whoever it is. I mean, I like when people recognize my work, right? So
Sure.
yeah, I mean that's the ultimate compliment. So
We're recognizing your work here today.
yeah, I
For
appreciate that
sure.
so much.
So the need for conversations, is driving into that water cooler conversations, as you said. But how do you measure this? When you started off, how did you say that this is what we're going to measure to be successful, or this is how we're going to know we're successful? Like, what were the original goalposts, and have those goalposts changed at all as you've matured in this?
Yeah, that's a great question. When we first started out, we had very bare minimum goals, right? We were just trying to put it out there as a way to help people. We weren't sure what was going to happen when the world opened back up. Everyone in learning was kind of questioning, would it go back to the way it was, or would it stay this way? So really, we just wanted to make sure that members came, that we were seeing discussions and comments. And I am not the administrator of the community, but my administrator is fantastic, Brett, and he told me that the goal is to make sure that you have twice the number of comments that you do of discussions. Now, I'm assuming that's a community benchmark. And so that was one of the main goals that we were just trying to keep pace with, right? Is the member community growing? And do we have the discussions and engagement on the community? And we did see that, and we did see people moving up in ranks and gaining points and earning badges. So, we felt like we were doing what people wanted, and we were always welcome to that feedback from our community members and our internal team. Our internal team of subject matter experts had ideas of different ways, adding more events, adding more blogs, adding more content. And so it really was a group effort, and it continues to be a group effort.
Wow.
Today we measure, like I said, users, discussions, comments. I mentioned the ideas before. We measure just about anything you can in the community today.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. So how's the usage grown? You started off with those 8,000 beta from your 9 best customers globally, and has it grown from there? Have you seen
Yeah.
success?
Yeah, we have seen
Tell us
some
about it.
we have seen some success with that. So when our first fiscal year, as I mentioned, our fiscal year ends in May. So last year was our first full year. We had just over 2,000 comments, or excuse me, discussions within the community. Today we're at almost 7,000 comments. So we have actually, doubled what we had last year, just in that 1 year. So phenomenal growth. We have gone from about 1,100 questions put into the community through those Ask Your Instructor questions I mentioned earlier. Today, we have close to 4,000. So just with the increase in those things, you can see how more and more people are utilizing the community and finding value in there. We've gone from about 3,500 comments the first year to over 15,000 this year. So 5 times, in 1 year, the growth. I talked about the ideas. We have gone from badges, about 95,000 the first year to almost 250,000 this year. And we've seen tremendous growth just in our membership. You mentioned 8,000 to start. We have hit the 1 million mark.
I was hoping you'd say that.
in
Cool.
in less than 2 years. You're the first to get that information outside of Oracle.
All
Um,
right.
so you can imagine that we are really excited about the fact that we have 1 million people globally using this community or having access to it. Obviously, no community has all their members in there at one time, but we feel like it's a vibrant and growing space, and we're so excited about what's coming. So
Wow, that's fantastic. Congratulations. That's got to be one of the, well, if it's not the biggest, it's got to be close to the biggest I've heard of in my career. So that's just fantastic to be able to
thank
build
you.
something so big in so short a time.
Yeah.
Uh, phenomenal. Phenomenal. What about curation of this content? Is there opportunities then to look through this and, well, curate it and turn it into formal learning content? Does it work backwards like that to take the informal back to formal? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that's a great point. We're starting to investigate that now that we have a much more robust group of people that are contributing. Um, Part of that started with the ideas, right? So that formal idea incubator that we have in there is a pipeline for someone that wants to do it in a formal process. On an informal basis to comb through the data, we do have subject matter experts that are following, their area of expertise. They're seeing what people are talking about. They're considering, is this something we need to add to the next iteration of courses? Is this something, that maybe we need to look at differently? So I think it's being done on both levels, a very formal process through the idea incubator and very informal process through those subject matter experts following their area of expertise and just building those relationships with the people in the community.
Oh, what about your team?
Yeah.
To manage 1 million users like that, do you have a big team? I mean, does it take a lot of people to do this or no?
You might be surprised by this answer. So I mentioned Brett, he's our administrator. He, basically works all the time. He loves the community. We have a smaller group of moderators offshore that work with Brett day in and day out. So they're monitoring the system. We have a set of best practices, as you can imagine, any community would. And they're making sure those best practices are being followed within the community. But really, it's a huge group effort. So the team that I reside on is 4 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so we have Brett, the administrator. We have myself who does like product management and go to market strategy and bringing all of our products to market. And then we have Julie who's doing like the blog content and gathering and working directly with the subject matter experts day in and day out. And then Lois is our director, and she's managing all the innovation across Oracle University. So that's the small group. But what I want to recognize is that Oracle University as a whole has really bought into the community. We have people designing graphics, we have editors and content writers that are building things. We have all the instructors and subject matter experts who are contributing that content. We have a vice president who's been so excited and thrilled to bring this to market and really bought it in day one. So we reside on a very small team. We have a huge team behind us internally, and then really the members are doing a lot of the work, right? They're driving this community forward. So we've kind of hit that, we were building, and now we're like at the crest of it, and we're along for the ride. These members are pushing us forward, and it's fantastic. So it's a big group. So yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Is a user community like this an alternative to like a knowledge base for an organization, or is this still incremental? You still need a knowledge base and a user community. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, today at Oracle, we have both. We have
Yeah.
several communities actually within Oracle, and we have many different knowledge bases. So I think right now people are used to both, but I do think that if someone feels really comfortable in a community and people are contributing and answering those questions, you're developing a knowledge base at the same time
Yeah.
because you can search that information. So it'll be interesting in the next year or two just to see overall what that trend is in the industry, with knowledge
Mm.
bases versus communities. But I, our community is solely focused on learning. So if someone wants information about the product or wants information about, development, if they're a developer, we have other communities that they can work with there too as well. So
That's interesting. Yeah,
yeah.
because you figure if you do a knowledge base, you're basically stewing on all the answers yourself and trying to
Mhm.
come up, be the smartest person in the room and come up with everything in advance versus just letting your customers figure it out. So it almost seems like it's a shorter path and maybe a more accurate path to do that. So you're 2 years into it right now. We're out of time. I've got about another 100 questions for you, but I can't ask them. I can't ask them. But now that you're, a few years past this, if you could wave a magic wand and, go back to the beginning, what would you do differently in this process? Any best practices or advice you'd give to all of us here that are following in your footsteps?
Wow, I think the biggest thing is just understand where all those points of integration are first and foremost,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you need to get the buy-in from other teams outside of your own. So that's important. The other thing is just to reach out to other people. I mean, you're building a community, become a part of a community, reach out to those experts. Don't be afraid to ask the questions. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And then I guess the other big thing would be a set of best practices because you always have some kind of situation, especially in a corporate world, that you have to be very conscious of what people are saying and what they're doing. And I would say integration, best practices, and buy-in. And don't be afraid. Just go do it.
All right, cool. Well, outstanding. Kris-Ann Nansen, Senior Principal Product Manager, Oracle. Thanks so much for stopping by today and sharing your progress and just amazing achievements here with the learning community. Uh, as I mentioned, I haven't seen anything like this in my career. What you've been able to build, just in just in general, is fantastic. But then building it in such a rapid time frame from no model is a model for the industry. So everybody that's listening, this is a great path that you can follow and follow a trailblazer here and learning how just the field of customer education just keeps on evolving and getting bigger. And it's not just Kris-Ann, it's here in user communities, all over my travels right now as organizations are thinking and pulling this part, typically a marketing function into customer education and making it one and the same. And that's cool and it's evolving. And thanks, Kris-Ann, for coming to show, what the path could look like. We can't wait to have you here in next year or 18 months or so and get the progress. But 1 million users, phenomenal. Great job. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed our time together today.
Awesome. Me too. Me too. Listeners, thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Talented Learning Show. We hope you learned a lot and we'll see you on the next. Have a great day, everyone.